What if I told you that everything you think is bringing you closer together is actually the blueprint of betrayal? What if the woman you trust is already emotionally gone, and she's just waiting for the right moment to make it official? The signs aren't hidden. They're screaming. You're just not listening to the right frequency. Before we dive into these 5 behaviors that no cheating woman can hide, I need you to do something. Hit that like button if you've ever had that gut feeling something was off. Subscribe because this channel will teach you to trust your instincts, not her excuses. And drop your city in the comments. I want to know where my strongest viewers are watching from. Let's begin. Sign number 1, she's happier, but you're not the reason. Here's something most men miss completely. She starts glowing. She's humming in the shower, smiling at her phone, having more energy than she's had in months. And your first thought? Great, she's finally happy again. But here's what you need to understand. When a woman is genuinely happy in her relationship, you feel included in that happiness. You're part of the glow. You see the source. You witness the moments that create it. You're connected to her joy. This sudden shift in energy isn't random. There's always a source. And when that source isn't you or your shared life together, you need to start asking the hard questions. The new workout routine appears out of nowhere. The better clothes become a priority. The energy comes from somewhere you can't identify. You'll notice she comes home from certain places practically glowing, but when you try to connect with her happiness, she shuts down. When you ask what made her day so good, she gives vague answers like, just a good day, or finally feeling like myself again. Here's the psychology behind this. When a woman is in the early stages of an emotional or physical affair, her brain floods with dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. It's the same chemical cocktail you get from powerful stimulants. She literally becomes addicted to the feeling this new person gives her. Watch for these specific signs that will reveal everything you need to know. She's happy, but she can't explain why when you ask. You'll say, "You seem really good today, what's going on?" And she'll stumble over her words, give you non-answers like, just feeling good, or no reason, just happy. The happiness comes in waves that have nothing to do with your shared experiences. You didn't go anywhere special together. You didn't have a great conversation. You didn't do anything romantic. But she's glowing anyway. She's more radiant after being away from you, not when she's with you. Pay attention to this one carefully. She comes home from work, from social events, from running errands, and she's practically buzzing with energy. But when you two spend time together, that energy dims. Her energy peaks when her phone buzzes. You'll be sitting together, maybe watching a movie, and her phone lights up. Suddenly, she perks up, smiles unconsciously, and there's this spark in her eyes that wasn't there moments before. Here's what happens. Women start taking longer showers, singing in there, clearly in a good mood. What you don't realize is that these moments of joy often follow text conversations that happen right before, and the happiness you're witnessing is her emotional high from those exchanges. The psychological insight here is crucial, and you need to understand this. When a woman is getting emotional validation from someone new, her brain releases a cocktail of feel-good chemicals: dopamine, norepinephrine, oxytocin. It's literally like being on powerful medication. She becomes addicted to the feeling this new person gives her, and everything else in her life, including you, becomes background noise to that high. This transformation often involves suddenly working out again after years of being sedentary, buying new clothes, and having more energy than she's had since your early dating days. Many men think their partner is finally taking care of herself, maybe working through some personal issues. They're proud of her transformation, but the happiness isn't about self-improvement. It's about impressing someone else. Every effort, every new outfit, every burst of energy is directed towards someone who isn't you. Here's the brutal truth. When a woman is truly content in her relationship, her happiness includes you. It reaches for you. It wants to share itself with you. But when her happiness has nothing to do with you, when it exists in spite of you, when it seems to come from a source you can't identify, That's not growth. That's preparation. If you're feeling uncomfortable right now, good. That's your instincts waking up. But that's just the beginning. Sign number 2 will make your blood run cold because it's exactly what guilty people do. Sign number 2, she becomes extra sweet, out of nowhere. This one is psychological warfare disguised as love, and it's one of the most manipulative things a guilty woman does without even realizing it. Suddenly, she's bringing you coffee in bed when she hasn't done that in months. She's complimenting you more than usual, telling you how handsome you look, how smart you are, how lucky she is to have you. She might even become more physically affectionate out of nowhere, buying you little gifts that seem thoughtful, or being unusually supportive of things she used to criticize. Your favorite shirt she always disliked, now she loves it. Your friends she found annoying, now she thinks they're great guys. Your conscious brain says, she's being loving. This is good. Maybe we're getting back on track. But your subconscious, your gut, your deeper knowing says, something feels off about this. It doesn't feel real. Trust your gut every single time. Let me tell you why this happens. Because understanding the psychology will save you from months of confusion. When a woman is betraying you emotionally or physically, her subconscious goes into complete damage control mode. She's not trying to manipulate you consciously. Most of the time, she doesn't even realize she's doing it. She's trying to balance the karmic scales in her own mind. This pattern is universal among women who cheat. They become the sweetest partner in the world during that time. They cook favorite meals without being asked, surprise with tickets to events you wanted to see, constantly express appreciation and gratitude, over-the-top gestures that are completely out of character. If she's never been the type to leave love notes and suddenly your bathroom mirror is covered with them, pay attention. If she's never cared about surprising you, and suddenly she's planning elaborate date nights, ask yourself why. Compliments that feel like she's reading from a script. You're such an amazing husband. I'm so lucky to have you. You're the best man I know. But when she says these things, her eyes don't match her words. There's something hollow about it, something that feels rehearsed. The telltale sign that will confirm your suspicions. Pay very close attention to her eyes during these sweet moments. If her words say, I love you, but her eyes say, I'm sorry, you have your answer. If there's guilt hiding behind the affection, if there's sadness mixed in with the sweetness, if she can't quite meet your eyes when she's being extra loving, that's your confirmation. Women often buy expensive gifts right before asking for separation. They can't explain why, but feel like they owe something beautiful before destroying everything. That's guilt, not generosity. That's conscience trying to pay back in advance for the pain about to be caused. Other patterns include doing laundry, cleaning cars, making favorite dinners every night. Partners think this represents some kind of positive transformation. It does, but not the kind they believe. It's preparation for departure, and guilt makes them want to serve one last time. But here's the cruel irony. The sweeter she becomes out of guilt, the more confusing it becomes for you. You start thinking, things are getting better between us. She really does love me. Maybe I was imagining problems that weren't there. Now, sign number 3 is where it gets really dangerous, because she's not just hiding her actions. She's testing the waters for her exit. Sign number 3, her opinions suddenly shift. This one is subtle, but it's highly accurate and one of the most reliable predictors of infidelity. Her political views shift. Her opinions about relationships change completely. Her philosophy about love, commitment, and loyalty starts sounding like it came from someone else's mouth. And here's the thing, it did. Listen for these exact phrases, and when you hear them, understand that she's not sharing her own thoughts. Maybe monogamy isn't natural after all. People change, and sometimes love isn't enough. I've been thinking about what it means to be truly authentic in relationships. Men and women can definitely be just friends. That old thinking is so outdated and insecure. Marriage is just a piece of paper anyway. Real love doesn't require ownership. What's really happening here? She's not discovering these revolutionary thoughts on her own through some kind of personal spiritual awakening. She's repeating conversations she's had with someone else, someone who's planting seeds of doubt about your relationship while validating her desires to explore outside of it. This pattern unfolds over months, and it's like watching someone get slowly influenced. Partners suddenly become interested in open relationship podcasts. They start reading books about conscious uncoupling and alternative relationship styles. They begin questioning traditional marriage structures, monogamy, and even the concept of commitment itself. Many partners think their significant other is intellectually exploring new ideas, expanding their mind, growing as a person. They're actually proud that their partner is so intellectually curious. They have no idea external influence is happening, feeding these philosophies to justify what's being done. She isn't exploring, she's preparing. Every book consumed, every podcast absorbed, every new philosophy adopted builds the framework to justify betrayal. Watch her sources very carefully. New books about finding yourself in relationships that she's suddenly passionate about. Podcasts about alternative relationship styles that she listens to religiously. Suddenly becoming very interested in friends who've had affairs or divorces, wanting to spend more time with them, asking them lots of questions about their experiences. Following new social media accounts that promote liberation from traditional relationships, living your truth, or not being confined by society's expectations. Instagram accounts, TikTok influencers, YouTube channels that all seem to have the same message. You don't owe anyone your loyalty. You should follow your heart wherever it leads. Commitment is outdated. Psychologists call this cognitive priming. She's surrounding herself with content that normalizes the behavior she's already engaging in or planning to engage in. She's building an echo chamber that tells her what she wants to hear, that what she's doing isn't wrong, it's evolved. Here's what I need you to understand. People don't randomly develop new relationship philosophies. They develop them when their current reality no longer serves them. When a committed woman suddenly becomes interested in the philosophy of non-commitment, she's not expanding her mind, she's building her exit strategy. The opinions aren't hers, they're his. The man she's talking to, the man who's in her ear, the man who's convincing her that what she's doing isn't wrong. It's evolution. Stop making excuses, start paying attention. But if you think that's manipulative, wait until you see sign number 4. This one will chill you to the bone. Sign number 4, she stops needing your attention. This sign is the most dangerous because it feels like peace. She stops asking where you've been. She doesn't care if you're late. She's not curious about your day, your thoughts, or your plans. Most men think, finally, she's giving me space. She's not clingy anymore. But here's the concerning truth. She's not giving you space. She's creating distance. There's a massive difference. When a woman stops needing your attention, it's because she's getting it elsewhere. Her emotional cup is being filled by someone else, so she doesn't need to draw from you anymore. This pattern becomes clear when you understand what's happening emotionally. When emotional needs are being met by someone else, partners stop asking about your day. They stop caring if you come home late. They stop needing validation, time, or presence. Not because they're more secure in the relationship, but because they're less invested in it. Watch for these specific behaviors. She doesn't notice if you're home or not. No questions about your day, your friends, or your plans. She's perfectly content doing everything alone. Your absence doesn't create any emotional reaction in her. Not concern, not curiosity, not even mild interest. The most concerning sign. She becomes supportive of you going out with friends, staying late at work, or traveling without her. Not because she trusts you more, but because your absence makes her life easier. Partners suddenly encourage weekend trips that were mentioned months earlier. What seems like supportive behavior is actually strategic. The goal isn't generosity, it's creating opportunities for uninterrupted time with someone else. Here's the psychological truth. When a woman is emotionally invested in you, she's curious about you. She wants to know where you've been, who you talked to, what made you laugh. She craves connection with you. But when that investment shifts elsewhere, the curiosity disappears. You become background noise in her life instead of the main character. And that shift, from main character to extra, isn't personal growth or maturity. That's emotional abandonment. Your gut knows, trust it. But the final sign, this is the one that confirms everything. It's not just suspicious, it's practically a confession. Sign number 5. She starts testing your reaction to infidelity. She starts bringing up infidelity in hypothetical situations. She asks probing questions about forgiveness, second chances, and mistakes in relationships. Listen for these exact questions. Do you think people can change after they cheat? Would you ever be able to forgive someone if they made a mistake? What if someone cheated but realized they made a horrible mistake and wanted to fix things? Everyone makes mistakes in relationships, right? What she's really doing? She's not asking these questions out of curiosity. She's building her defense strategy before she needs it. She's testing the waters to see how much damage control she'll need to do when the truth comes out. This pattern appears weeks or months before confession. Women start having conversations about cheating well before they admit to anything. They're not exploring philosophy. They're preparing for revelation. The psychological manipulation here is concerning. By framing infidelity as a mistake rather than a choice, she's already diminishing the severity of what's been done or planned. She's conditioning you to see betrayal as human error rather than intentional deception. Pay attention to her reactions. How relieved she looks if you say you believe in second chances. How her face changes if you say cheating is unforgivable. Whether she pushes back if you have strong boundaries about infidelity. The final tell, if she starts defending cheaters in movies, TV shows, or real-life stories, she's practicing defending herself. Women spend entire evenings explaining why the cheating character in a movie was just confused and trying to find herself. Weeks later, they confess to their own affair. They weren't defending a fictional character. They were rehearsing their own justification. When a loyal woman hears about cheating, she's disgusted. When a woman who's cheating hears about it, she's defensive. The difference reveals everything. Men, I need you to hear this from a woman who's seen every side of the story. Your instincts are not paranoia. That feeling in your gut is not insecurity. It's intelligence. These 5 signs don't lie because psychology doesn't lie. When a woman is betraying you, her behavior changes in predictable patterns. The question is, are you brave enough to see them? Here's what you need to remember. Real love doesn't require this much detective work. A loyal woman doesn't test your boundaries around loyalty. You deserve someone who chooses you every day, not just when it's convenient. This is painful. It's easier to make excuses, to give her the benefit of the doubt, to tell yourself you're overthinking. But your intuition is trying to save you from devastation. Listen to it. Stop making excuses for behavior that doesn't make sense. Stop letting guilt and manipulation disguise itself as love. And most importantly, stop shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's story. If you recognized even 2 of these signs, you already know what you need to do. Trust yourself. Sometimes the person you love most is capable of hurting you the deepest. But recognizing that isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And wisdom, even when it hurts, is always better than willful blindness. You can't control who betrays you, but you can control what happens next. Choose yourself. Before you go, drop your city in the comments. I want to see where my strongest, most aware viewers are watching from. Hit that like button if this opened your eyes to something you needed to see. And subscribe, because this channel will always choose truth over comfort. You deserve loyalty. You deserve honesty. You deserve love that doesn't come with conditions or escape plans. Don't settle for less.